and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silent prayer. Amen.
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 Okay, it is Tuesday evening, January 3rd, hard to believe we're in 2023. We're in the town of Athens Municipal Center. Can I have the roll call?
You sure can. Scott Murphy,
Here.
Rick Weber,
He's absent.
Greg Forney,
Here.
Rose Jackson,
Absent.
Elizabeth Skinner. Here. Bruce Chapman,
Here.
and Susan Webster's here via cell phone.
Right, we got recorders on.
For the both of us.
Yeah, she's not feeling good, but she's in here on the phone.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
gonna be doing the recording, so we got a lot of people here. So we're gonna get through our meeting. We're gonna bring the people that are on our agenda come forward, but we've got to take care of business here. We would like to have the review of the minutes of the council meeting from the 20th of December, 2022. I'll take any additions and corrections and a common consent. It's all good to me, but everybody okay? All right, common consent. All right. Persons before council, Regina?
My name is Regina and I own Ravenwood and 2 other properties in Berkeley Springs. Thank you for allowing me to speak today, and I want to tell you that I appreciate the work that you all do for our community. Thank you. And Happy New Year, everybody. The first time I came to this beautiful mountain town was in 1976. I then chose to move here. I chose Berkeley Springs to move here to raise my family when I was in my early 20s. My mother, Barbara Tudor, moved here soon afterwards, and she became an active member in the community as well. Over the past 40 to 50 years, I have personally witnessed Berkeley Springs face many challenges. But the people always put their differences aside and put the town first. In my coming here today, though it may not be the correct forum, is because I'm concerned about the division developing in our business community. Berkeley Springs was always a place welcoming and diverse. The local people welcomed me and befriended me when I came here, and I've seen them do the same thing, and everyone in the town has been welcoming. Part of our community, part of the small town charm, I guess. However, in the past year, it has become a place that no matter what anyone says or anyone does, someone's offended, victimized, and then gives themselves permission to publicly or privately bully or slander the other person. All this gossip is dividing the community more and more every day. I myself was told by someone who was a friend of mine that I was a traitor or maybe a spy because I went into a business that they were on the other side of. There's been this big divide, this side and that side. I've heard gossip from my friends, my personal friends, that I know is not true, and I've tried to clear it up, and they're so embedded and so deep in this fight that they don't even care what the truth is anymore. You know, one of the things I care about the truth. I'm a very factual person. So anyway, there's another town that I know of that had a practice, and this is why I'm here today. Is that I think maybe we should adopt this practice. I know that it won't heal all of the problems, but it may get us started in the right direction as far as to get the gossiping to stop. So anyway, what they did is they would gather the town together in the town square, and they would bury the hatchet. You know, physically, I actually went to Hunter's and bought a hatchet. It's in my car. We can use it. Anyway, so they would physically, pick a time and gather the community together, bury the hatchet, and tell everyone to move on with dignity and grace and get back to business and stop spreading lies and gossip. So that's why I came today. Thank you.
All right. Next person on the agenda is Sue Evans.
My name's Sue Evans. Charlie and I own Mountain Laurel Artisans. The only reason we own that building and have that business is for the betterment of the community. That is the only reason we established that business. We haven't taken one penny out of it. We know that the community needs it, and that's why we're there. We haven't felt welcomed for the last couple of years. We've been under attack, and everybody in this room knows by whom. I have set forth in my letter to you dated December 27 the various threats made against us and the campaign of hate towards us, which has only one common denominator: local business owners whom I will not name. I know most of the community views this as a civil matter and don't want to get involved, but we all are involved as long as anyone is striving to destroy this community and certain businesses simply because they are sore losers in a legal matter. Charlie and I now own this property, and I only see things getting worse. And this does involve the community. Although TBS recently held an open meeting in an attempt to unify the community, and most people walked away feeling better moving forward, our New Year's Day was interrupted because photographs had been sent to Stephanie Rebant complaining about how someone was parked on our private property. Stephanie then took it upon herself to contact this individual and ask him to move his vehicle. Of course, he then contacted us on the very first day of the new year. Stephanie, of course, was completely out of line contacting this individual as she has no authority over our private property. So as we begin the task of completing the necessary construction on the property, I anticipate kickback at every step of the way and am forewarning the town of complaints likely on a daily basis. But let me make it clear now so that everyone is aware, and I can provide the documentation for proof of my statements. The alley from Washington Street runs straight to the creek and not to any adjoining property. There is absolutely no legal access across our property to any adjoining property, which is documented in our court order. In fact, the other parties involved have for several months now violated that court order, which denies them access to what was HLI property by parking on the property and trespassing on the property to get to theirs. But we have not forced the issue since we are not actively working on the property during litigation. Now that the property has been transferred, giving Charlie and I control, we will be working on the property. The only way we will feel safe from interference is to build a fence along the property line of the property, which will prohibit the adjoining property owners and their tenants from accessing their property through ours. I have been assaulted by both the other parties when they attempted to run me over in the parking lot. Video footage documents both incidents. I suffered an injury to my ankle and a huge bruise on my leg as a rock was thrown and tires were spun directly in front of me. For these reasons, putting our safety to the forefront, the fence is necessary and will go up. These parties have had several no trespassing orders issued against myself, Charlie, and Vince Chinchillo, so a fence will only ensure that we comply with their request. Yet I know as this fence goes up, they will cry the victim cry to the community. Just know that we are well within our legal rights and is more than necessary for our safety. Now that the property is owned solely by Mountain Laurel Shops, the other parties have no legal right on the property, and their interference on the property becomes criminal. It's no longer civil. We intend to issue no trespassing notices to the parties and their tenants. So if they are on our property, it will be a criminal act, and I ask that the town uphold our rights.
All right, Stephanie.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Stephanie Rebant. I'm president of Travel Berkeley Springs, and I'm a local business owner. I I have spent 20 years of my professional life passing on any knowledge that I've learned through lodging in my business to better our community and to grow tourism and to make us a more unified and successful community. It is always the hope of any business members that neighbors can get along. At no point is it ever acceptable to slander another business. That is not going to move our community forward. I feel with challenges, we have a few business owners that I don't know that they'll ever get along, or there's anything we can do as a community to make that happen. And I would like to say, I am so proud of when I go before another community and I get to represent Berkeley Springs, of the amazing job that our business owners do. People leave here with an experience. I have customers that have been coming for 20 years. The restaurants, the shops, the spas, our staff. We are all in it for the experience of Berkeley Springs. I certainly made no attempt to divide the community further. I'm a real estate agent. You know, my question is there access? Is there a right of way? If another neighbor has been using the property for the 20 years that I've been here, I don't know what the legal aspects are. It is a civil issue, but I know that, is it worth the cost of losing support of other business owners to hinder another business? And I don't know that it's fair to prevent another business from getting deliveries, especially during the winter when propane is needed to heat their facility. I think there's a bigger picture. I know every person and every business owner in this room are good people. I have worked with you all. It baffles me why we're spending any time and effort that is destructive to our tourism industry. I would love to spend my time making Mountain Laurel the best artisan shop in the state and helping use our marketing resources to do that, to make the Fairfax Coffee House the best coffee house in the state. I don't know that we can ever get there with the current situation. If Travel Berkeley Springs can do anything to help, we certainly want to. I think the decision is up to the business owners. I have to say, if it continues to go this way, as leaders in the community, Travel Berkeley Springs, the Chamber of Commerce, the Town of Bath Development Authority, we have to separate ourselves from these businesses that are doing this. And I am one vote. There's a board, there's members, there's people involved, but this cannot continue at the decline of bringing the community down. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. All set. I addressed this 2 meetings ago. I addressed this, and here we are. Right back to the same thing that we started out at. I wasn't going to make a statement tonight. I honestly wasn't. But I am totally baffled how in little less than a year our community has gone by from being so loving and so caring for everybody, and the bickering back and forth, the fight, and the situation that's going on between 2 businesses downtown. I never in my life thought that I would see this in Berkeley Springs in the town of Bath. I have been the mayor here the last 8 years. I've been on council since 2006. We have never, ever had an issue like this in this town. We are more divided now than this town's ever been. And I don't know what to do about it. I'm the mayor in this town, and I'm supposed to be the one that straightens this out. And I have no clue. Again, last night, didn't sleep. Sat up all night thinking about the situation in this community. The businesses that are maybe getting ready to pick up and leave because of the back and forth, and this guy's threatening that guy, and this is this is Penny Annie. This is Penny Annie. It's ridiculous. of all the communities that in the United States that I have ever been in, I never thought Berkeley Springs and the town of Bath would fall apart like this. Ever. I thought we were stronger than this. And I'm telling you, we're not going to hash it out here tonight. People need to get together. They need to make a decision on whether they want Berkeley Springs and the town of Bath to move forward or whether they want it to die. Because right now it's dying. It's dying because of certain entities going on behind the scenes, stabbing this person, stabbing that person. You know, where is our humanity? You know, there are people in this community that have done so much for this community. And they're sitting back thinking, I've done all this for what? It's enough. The parties need to get together. The business community needs to get together and needs to say it's enough. The council, we can't do anything about it. It's enough. And if it doesn't stop, somebody's going to get hurt. And I know you people didn't want to hear this. Like I said, I wasn't going to make a statement, but I've had enough. I can't even walk downtown without somebody stopping me saying, what's going on in your town? Why do you got all these people at each other's throats? I don't like that. So I'm telling you, business community and the people in this community, we better get behind each other's. This stuff that's going on, threatening back and forth, people pulling out, squealing, whatever. I never thought I would see that of grown people. People that know better. I mean, I could understand a teenager who just got his driver's license spinning tires and, but I can't understand people that know better. I'm telling you, the town of Bath better get their stuff together or we're going to be left behind. Stephanie's trying to do, the BDA's trying to do, the Bath Development or the Chamber. Everybody's trying to do what they can. We have worked hard for years, or they have worked hard to put this town on the map. And look what's going on. Look at it. In less than a year, we're acting like the rest of the country. And that's not the town of Bath. So I'm saying tonight, it's enough. I've had enough. And I know the council's tired of dealing with it. The BDA's tired of dealing with it. Steph and their organization, we're tired of dealing with it. We need to get the entities that are, and we need to get people together. There needs to be some type of common ground. The threatening, the throwing the whatever out has got to stop. We all have to work together to make this business community work. And if we don't want to, then fine. If that's what you all choose. But you better get together. And that's the end of my statement.
Can I piggyback that with something there? So one of the things that I noticed, and we're all aware of, is that social media is not constricted to just us right here in this town. So if a business owner in this town who stands for the town, or they say they stand for the town, and they want to build this town and make it a great town and a great place that has great people, if you post garbage on social media slandering other businesses, the tourists see that. And guess where they don't want to come? Here. So involved parties in this whole crap matter are posting these things. And I know it because I'm on social media. I click it, I'm going through it. Oh, what's this? Subscribe now. And it has names of the people who made the post. Slandering other businesses in this town. Don't come here. This town's a Nazi town. And this town, it's absolute garbage. So, I mean, if you're a business owner and you support the town and you want us to grow, do it. But if you're a business owner and you want to run us into the ground, please pack your stuff
Yeah.
up and go to another town because we don't want it. We don't want it. And that's all I have.
Chris, do you have anything to say?
I want to see the hatchets buried. I don't want to see fences. I honestly don't. I mean, that's not helpful. I'm sorry. There's got to be a way for the grown adults to come together. I mean, we all rise and fall depending on how we work together. This is too small a little area block, in terms of what we float upon in terms of the oasis we have here. And if we can't find a way to work together, it's all going to fall apart.
So how do we defend ourselves against the attacks when nobody else comes forward to support us?
But as long as you continue to take on this stance of being a victim of this, and I'm saying as adults, come forward and work together.
We have.
And otherwise it's all gonna. The stance you're taking is just taking us down. I don't want to. You can talk, but
I
I
just
just
want to ask one question.
that's where it is. You're acting like children who can't get
We
along.
have stood back and done nothing for 2 years. And when we start defending ourselves, we're the bad guys.
I'm not saying you're the bad guys. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying we know where the source of the problem is in terms of where the conflict is, and those parties need to come together and work this out
That's never
to the
gonna
benefit
happen.
of the town. And then,
That's never gonna happen.
then we're in trouble.
No, we won't.
I mean, if it's never going to happen, then we might as well just close the doors up now, because, like I said, it's gotten to the point where it's just gotten ridiculous.
We are being cursed as we walk in our door from people that we don't even know.
You have your
Our
side and they have
30
their
over
side.
30
I don't
of
know
our
who to believe or not to
artisans
believe.
have been
and I-
notified, and
It's not. You've got to find a way to work it out.
How?
None of us want to hear it anymore.
how? Tell me how.
We don't know.
How do we stop it?
We can put.
Can I say something?
Yes, Susan, go ahead.
Yeah, there are entities that do handle this type of conflict all the time.
Mhm.
They hang shingles out. It's their business. It's what they do is mediate and arbitrate.
Right.
That's
We
not what
tried
the Town of
that.
Bath Council does. No, ma'am, let me talk. That's not what the Town of Bath Council does. Our job, if the councilman will hold up their agenda, all that list of things on that agenda is what we do, from providing you with water, from paved streets, to potholes, to plowing snow, to burying people in Greenway Cemetery. That's what we do. As far as private conflicts between property owners, this is a legal matter that's outside of our, if something illegal is going on, the Town of Bath has certain jurisdictions, but you also have the Morgan County Sheriff's Department, the West Virginia State Police. You have mediators and arbitrators who advertise they want your business. They want you, this is what they do. And that's what I would advise you to do, is to take advantage of what the resources that you have. As far as the little town of Bath, like I said, we take care of the things on the agenda that tonight, from rail trail to train depot to Greenway Cemetery, and to mediate. And I remember a few years ago when this partnership or whatever it is got together, the town of Bath was mentioned in it, as far as if there were any disputes, that they would be mediated by a town representative. And I swear I saw that I was standing in town hall, and they probably heard me in the 7-Eleven scream, "No, this is not our business to mediate private property and private business affairs. There are other people who do it for a living." And that's what I would advise you to do.
The only thing I'm here for tonight is to request public safety and protection under attack if it should happen. That's
Yeah,
my
and
only
I'm telling
purpose
you,
here tonight. I am not asking for the town to mediate anything.
Okay,
Understand.
here's what I'm telling you to do, Sue.
Yes.
Take your evidence, take whatever you have, and go to the other police agencies also. This is a small town. We have a struggling police department. Take everything you've got and go to the sheriff's department. Go to the West Virginia State Police.
We will.
These people are here to serve you too.
We will.
Okay.
Scott, I'm not on the agenda. Do you care if I speak for a moment?
You're one of our committee members, so.
All right. We all make choices, right? We've been talking about this and talking about this. There are both sides. But we all make choices, and we are the business community. Most of you guys in here are the business community of Berkeley Springs, are we not? Are we not?
Yep.
There are two parties. They're both making choices. Do we have any control over that?
No.
No, we don't. Are we friends with these people?
Yeah.
Are we going to support these people?
Yeah.
Do we need to make the choice and like share it on Facebook? And I've done it. We've all done it. We've all shared stuff in our past that we probably shouldn't have done. So honestly, the choice is tonight, from here on out, don't post it. None of it. If it's negative against this town, don't post it. Don't. The choices. We can choose to support each other, or we can choose to keep fighting this out amongst ourselves. Doesn't mean we can't be supportive of whatever side you're on. You can, but we still need to support each other because we can make it through this. I don't know. I'm not getting into sides, but it doesn't matter. We have a conflict in town. We do. Does that mean the rest of town needs to suffer? Does that mean when someone is out at another entity that they should hear something bad about anybody in town? Should they?
No.
Should we talk? Maybe you can't recommend that place or that place. That's all you need to say. Doesn't mean we're sliding it under the table. Because God knows it does need to be sorted out and it needs to be addressed. But at the end of the day, as a community, we have a choice, don't we? We're not kids. We teach our kids this, right? There's consequences too to your choices. So, and it not just these two businesses, but any business. If you do bad business and that is your choice, what happens?
Lose customers.
Business.
Am I going to recommend you? Are you going to recommend them through TBS? We make choices and there's consequences. And honestly, the bad mouth thing, there's going to be a consequence because I'm not going to recommend somebody to go anywhere that when they walk in, they're hearing the bullshit. Why? So I'm asking everybody out there watching and tell you, make a choice. Because it's got to stop. Because the more we give this life, the more we are giving people attention. And that is what they want. Stop it. It's not worth it. It's not worth our town. And I like it here. And I drive you all nuts. So that's what I have to say. Like it? Don't care. I made a choice. That's it.
Beth, do you have anything to say on this subject?
The only thing I would say, the role of the town council is, I would agree with Susan, that if anyone is feeling, threatened or in danger,
Yes.
they need to take themselves seriously and go to the sheriff's department and state, present your evidence, and it can be looked into. Otherwise, there's nothing we can do at this point.
Okay.
We have a public safety committee that can work with the sheriff's department or the state police, and we will do that as necessary. But everyone's safety in this room is important, and if you physically feel threatened and you have genuine evidence, take it to someone who can do something about it. And that's all I would say. I would,
Okay.
at point of privilege, I think we should return to our agenda.
We're at the end. This is the end. Business community needs to get together. Need to figure out what we want. If you want this community to thrive, you'll make it thrive. If you don't want it to thrive, that's fine. We're here to assist you in, water, sewer, your business license, your garbage pickup, and all that kind of stuff. But this needs to be settled through the business community somehow, some way. I don't know how to do it. I'm not a mediator. I kind of like her idea to bury the hatchet, but I'm afraid somebody will grab the hatchet and take it to somebody else. I mean, that's how hostile this is right now.
That's why I left it in the car.
It is. So we're going to return to our agenda. It's enough. I've had enough of it. I said before 2 meetings ago, I'm not addressing this again. It's up to the business community to get it straightened out. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on. It's like at 6 o'clock, which we're gonna actually miss the commissioner in the commissioner's room. They're out in the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy.
Everybody's welcome. We're
Six-
gonna talk about the West Virginia surplus.
Yeah. Hold on a second. All
It's
right.
at the courthouse at 6:30, but if you come a little bit late, you're still welcome. And
Okay, it's
I'm
6:30.
hoping that, you guys can make it.
What'd you want to say, Susan?
I just said it's at 6:30.
Okay, yeah. All right. That's all I have. Let's move on to the Bath Development.
Oh, that's me again.
You wanna go?
Bath Development. Haven't been around in a while, but I'm back and no one will see me again. Because I'm gonna go down that tax rabbit hole. But anyway, BDA is actually got some things going. We have the selfie stations that Bill Clark, that little committee is working on. Sue and I forget the other lady's name, sorry, Sue. We're working on, go ahead.
Oh,
Anyway, we're working on an event for 2023. We're gonna try and pull it together. I believe it's on, we're aiming for what holiday is it?
we were talking about the weekend before Memorial Day.
Yeah, it was, Armed Services Day.
Yeah.
But we're working on that. We don't quite know what it's gonna look like. We got some ideas. We're always looking for ideas and help, just so you know. The BDA is always looking for help, just like all the other little committees. So back to again, business owners, get involved. There's a whole world of Berkeley Springs out here. Besides that, there's a couple other things we have going on, but we're forming little subcommittees at this point, so we are getting stuff done. So,
Very good.
And you're, as opposed to the
yes.
agenda,
Yes, we have changed the meeting. It is not this week. It is 2 weeks, same time, I think the same location. But if you would like to be on that list, get a hold of me. I do have an email list going when it goes out, right? But I will definitely make sure everyone's invited that wants to come, and you don't have to join, but we always use the help.
January 18th.
So it's the 19th.
January 18th.
January 18th, yes. So I emailed you that. That's it.
All right, thank you. Parks and Recs. Don't have anybody here. Planning Commission.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. Number one, we have our monthly meeting this Thursday at 1700 or 5 o'clock. Everybody's invited. Quit laughing. Number two, December was actually a great month. I had the opportunity, as I've been trying to do, find out about all the how the moving parts of the work. So I was at BDA, I was at TBS, I was at Chamber of Commerce. So I'm starting to understand better all the factors. Hold on a second, guys, because you're going to miss my last comment. So again, and a lot of them I've seen you guys at, right? I mean, it's kind of the same cast of characters. And my comment that kind of goes back to this topic, I can't, when we were really full 5 minutes ago, I can't think of anybody in this room I hate. Okay, it's not a word I use. Okay, you guys know me, I'm a Catholic kid, and I try to love. Okay, and doesn't mean I don't get along with people who, you know, politically we're different or whatever. And my challenge to everybody is, as opposed to that, come to this thing every 2 weeks, not just when something's good is on the agenda. Okay, this is a forum for learning about what's going on in the town. And as was talked about before, please try to attend some of these meetings. There is a ton going on in this town. And I would tell you, some of it as the planner scares me, because the Chamber of Commerce with their On Track program is doing this, which sounds a lot like the town's planning mission statement. And then BDA is doing a bunch of this, which sounds like a lot what the town is supposed to do as well, which is the town. And then you've got, like I said, Chamber of Commerce, BDA, and then Travel Berkeley Springs. So there's a lot of overlap that requires us to work together and communicate. So I do think that this is one of the forums that we can use as a positive way to communicate. Worst case is you're going to meet somebody. Okay, you might not know them. They might be a business owner, and I'm not. Okay, but I would say that this is a very good forum if it's used properly. So I encourage everybody to see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Rail and Trail.
You asked me to come up with a cost estimate if we did remediation on parcel 1A. And I estimate between $7,000 and $9,000 if we did it ourselves. DOH has put the remediation portion back in to the plan at this time, but there's a possibility that there'll be a cost overrun on the trail.
Right.
So we might want to keep it in our back pocket as some leverage.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we'll
That's
let you know next time we have a meeting.
okay. All right. Susan, did you have something to say?
No, I'm
Okay.
choking and gagging.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. Streetscapes.
We're still waiting on the notice to proceed with the design.
Okay.
We
I know it's been
expected it
dragging.
2 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Train Depot.
Okay, wait a minute, notice to proceed on design, I'm writing too, so, okay. We're, putting together an owners meeting, next Wednesday, January the 11th at 1 o'clock. We'll start at the depot and then, come up to town hall to, talk about any financial or administrative needs. The painters will be in next week. Kevin Good, the foreman down there, for lack of a better term, is now working on the ADA bathroom and the tiles and putting tiles up in there. And so it is getting wrapped up. I haven't been in for a couple days because I haven't felt well. But we will have an owners meeting, and anybody who wants to learn about the depot is welcome to come.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Landmarks Commission.
Good evening, everybody. Nothing new to report since the last meeting. We do have a meeting coming up January 17th, if I remember.
12.
12th, okay.
Yeah.
Got my days next. Sorry about that. At 2 p.m.
Good deal.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Clerk and Recorder's report. Madam Clerk, do you have anything?
No, not at this time.
Madam Recorder?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, let's pay some bills.
Alright. Alright, so I'd like to make a motion to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $12,944.04.
I second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $12,944.04. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Alright, and I would like to make a motion to pay the Berkeley Springs water bill in the amount of, it's actually a corrected amount, $5,255.96.
I second.
All right, I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Berkeley Springs waterwork bills in the amount of $5,255.96.
Yes.
Okay, any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Alright, and I would like to make a motion to disperse the hotel motel funds in the amount of $28,071.64.
The second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the hotel motel dispersion in the amount of $28,071.64. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
That's all I have for.
All right. Tree board? Got anybody? Okay. Grant.
I don't have anything new regarding the grant, but what I was thinking is maybe on 117, Chris, instead of doing the grant, have an ARPA meeting at that time.
Actually, I discussed with Sharon today, whether when the timing for our next ARPA meeting might be. And we were thinking a little further out, closer to budget time.
Close. Okay. Okay.
So maybe a month later.
Good.
Yeah.
That word I didn't know you talked about that. I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that we. Okay.
Yeah, we touched
Then I'll
bases.
scratch that out. That works for me.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Public safety. We don't have a report. Our council members out this evening, not feeling well. Cemetery.
You should have received an email that Susan forwarded to all of you. The General Barstow's headstone footstone has been restored and has been reset, and it looks very good. And we are moving forward to get an educational sign to go with that. The Morgan County Geological and Historical Society has generously agreed to donate $1,200 toward the sign. And I have a graphics designer working on it. I have a Civil War historian who has agreed to do the language for the sign. So that's moving forward. We're looking at a Memorial Day weekend ceremony for dedication of the headstone and the sign. And so things are moving toward completion with that project. And the next thing we're going to look at is the mausoleum and looking to the county commissioners for some help on that. So things are moving forward. We also have 2 individuals from the Genealogical Society who have stepped forward to say they would like to assist me with record keeping for Greenway Cemetery. So there's a lot of things going on right now, I guess you'd say behind the scenes, but things are moving forward. So it's very exciting.
Thank you, Beth.
Mhm.
Oh, Public Works, again, our chairman's out, but I do see on here Christmas tree pickup, you're doing as
Yeah.
regular trash. On the
If you can
regular
just
day.
have your trees out at the curbside, you're on your normal trash day. If it's not convenient and you need it picked up, just give the office a call and we'll get the guys out there.
All right, ordinance.
The ordinance committee met this afternoon. 2 things we took up. We've continuing to work on the updating the town's personnel manual, getting closer with that. So hopefully the next month or 2, we'll be able to present something to the full council. The other thing we took up was a proposed draft ordinance from the tree board regarding the purpose of the ordinance is to basically govern issues around trees, private and public property in the town. And so it's a kind of a complicated ordinance, and we are going to share it with our attorney, Dick Gay, to kind of go over it and see if there are any parts of it that we need to tweak before we move it forward for fuller review by the council. But that's the only other thing we had. So that's all for it.
Okay.
The ordinance is related to our status as a Tree City USA. The organization is, as I understand it, is encouraging municipalities to look at updated ordinances for things that have changed within the state. So that's why it was proposed to the tree board. And I thought that was a very good suggestion that somebody made to have our attorney look at it. Because it does involve does involve private property, not just public property. So
Right, yeah.
I think that's a very good move.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll be moving forward with that.
Chris, Waterworks.
Nothing new to report with water. Our next water committee meeting is this coming Monday at 4:30.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, we're at the end of our agenda meeting. At this point, I open up the floor to any other business that needs to come before the town. If anybody wants to speak that's still here. Okay, Larry.
Hey, Chris, one thing on that ordinance maybe to pay attention to, as I found out lately, Potomac Edison, when they do power line clearing,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of supervision of that. They
Right.
cut down trees like it is cool.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, whether it's on private or public land. So as you're going through the ordinance, you may look at how we can better coordinate with those guys to ensure, I think it's 15% increase is what we're looking for in the new ordinance for tree planting. The new Tree City USA stuff has an increased goal that it's got.
Yeah.
And again, it's going to be tough for us to do that if we're always cutting them down without our knowledge.
Yeah.
So again, just maybe something to look at is how we manage our utilities in reference to that.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just have a quick cemetery story.
Okay.
I got a phone call Monday from a gentleman trying to talk to somebody about the Greenway Cemetery. So I gave him the town number, and he said, I called that number, but I got Bath, England. I said, well, sir, let me try to explain all this to you. He goes, but the girl on the recording had an English accent.
Amen. Yes, yes. That's one thing you can look forward to when you listen to her, so. All right, anybody else? Okay.
Hey, Scott, thank you for your passion and energy, because I feel like you do that. We've been dancing around the subject of the folks in town that are having this disagreement. We know who they are, and I think at some time, and you're absolutely right, the business community needs to take that on as a project, an impartial business group of leaders, as opposed to those that have chosen to take sides at one time or another. So I think that is the right path and something that I'll try to pursue. But at some point in time, we actually have to call the folks out by name. I mean, everybody knows who they are. Trey, Paul, Sue, Charlie. We know who they are. It just adds clarity to it. And for the rest of us, stay in our lanes. And Stephanie left because I would have called her out for engaging in that for Travel Berkeley Springs, and that's not her lane. She shouldn't have been involved in that under any circumstances.
She spoke very well.
She spoke. I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with her engaging and just amping it up another notch. Right?
But I don't
That's
think
all.
that was her intent.
I'm sure it wasn't, but that's no one's intention. But yet that's what feeds the monster, which leads to this continuation of things anyway. So I just appreciate that, and I think you lent some good points, and hopefully it can go. You've done everything you can. There's a difference between doing everything you can and everything you should.
Right.
You've done everything you can. At that point, leave it there. Now,
And we're
should
grateful
part,
for
let
you.
that.
Put it back in their court.
Absolutely.
People need to get along. I mean, Susan said arbitration, whatever. We just got to figure it out. So anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So thank you.
And it is detrimental to all our businesses.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
At the end of
You
the
brought
day-
up that point.
Yeah, so,
So
It's
back at
valid.
the TBS meeting, I was very taken back when I heard about that.
yeah, so it does have a direct impact
On
on
everybody.
everybody. So we're all
Everybody.
now engaged in this,
Yeah.
and enough is enough. So that's where we
I've
are.
had enough of
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
it. Okay, and yeah, Mark.
If you want to know, I'll tell you. I wasn't going to say anything, but I'll tell you. The part of what I buried that hatchet. Now, part of what is causing all of this are the posts on social media or the letters to the wherever they came from, and we know where they came from, and we also know who started them. Well, I'll tell you right now, there's another one coming, and it's not going to be pretty.
That's not.
And every time that somebody, and I said this at the TBS meeting, don't call people in to do stuff like that until you run it by either the chamber or TBS, because these people are running wild. I've got on my phone, I bet I have 15 messages from one girl that wants me to comment. And I told her, you put it in writing and I'll respond in writing. I am not doing it verbally because God only knows what it's going to be out there. And I know it's going to be out there. So just so you all know, it's coming.
And it's gonna be a big hoopla again.
Yep,
You
we're
know,
gonna go
the
right
problem,
through it again.
the problem is, it's like I said this evening, it's got to stop. If you want the businesses to thrive, you'll make the businesses thrive. If you don't want to make them thrive, then this is what we're gonna get. There's nothing I can do about it, nothing this council can do about it. It's up to the business community to police. And so unfortunately, we are going to keep the same old vendetta going on instead of burying the hatchet and moving forward. So that's all I have to say. Anybody else? If not, I'll take a common consent to adjourn.
Hey, Rick, how you doing? How you feeling, buddy?
I don't know.
Good. Moving around better now?
I have no